Small cap and mid cap stocks actually had a very good day. Small caps were up about 1.8% yesterday. Small and mid caps, IWM, the Russell 2000, actually saw a nice little uptick here. Maybe starting to see potentially a bit of rotation into those stocks as well, just from the standpoint that, we've had such a big run in the S&P. Not surprising that as everybody kind of gets FOMO on that side, they're going, hey, there's some other opportunities here. This market's doing great. Nothing wrong with it. So here's what you need to know before the bell. Yesterday, the markets didn't really do a whole lot. We were flat at the end of the day, kind of just chopped around most of the afternoon. It was interesting, though, yesterday morning, we opened up flat. Then just all of a sudden, right around 10 o'clock in the morning, the market just kind of took off. And we were up about 30, 40 basis points in really just about the function of an hour. So there's just a very sharp uptick in the markets, and then all of a sudden it just quit, and the market fell back down, went to flat, and stayed that way for the rest of the day. So not sure what buying program kicked in just all of a sudden yesterday morning, but it was short-lived. We had this nice little pop in the market, then the market just kind of gave it all back up, ended flat. But again, really didn't change the trajectory of the markets right now. Again, if we just take a look at the market itself, that's doing fine. The interesting side, though, was yesterday was that small cap and mid cap stocks actually had a very good day. Small caps were up about 1.8% yesterday. Small and mid caps, IWM, the Russell 2000. So actually saw a nice little uptick here. Maybe starting to see potentially a bit of rotation into those stocks as well, just from the standpoint that we've had such a big run in the S&P. Not surprising that as everybody kind of gets FOMO on that side, they're going, hey, there's some other opportunities here. So maybe we'll go take a look at that. Again, it's important just to kind of keep this in perspective. We haven't really done a whole lot in the small cap, mid cap space. Mid caps, though, themselves, if you just break out the S&P 400. Those are the mid-cap stocks. That's actually been doing much better, with mid-caps kind of getting ready to break out. And if we have to kind of pull the chart back, but again, we're about to break out again to potentially try to retake that old high that was put back in January of 2022. Small caps, a bit of a different story. Again, not performing as well as mid-caps here. So a lot of the pull in IWM has been more in the mid-cap stocks than the small caps. But again, we're starting to see a bit of improvement there. So we're seeing a bit of rotation. We'll see if that can continue to occur as, people have all kind of piled in. We're very long. If you take a look at exposures in terms of equity, very, very long in the tooth with a lot of exposure into large cap stocks. Maybe finally starting to see some of that rotation in some of the small cap, mid cap spaces. We'll see. It's a bit early here, but again, we are starting to see a bit better improvement. Yesterday was a good example of that. Small mid caps were up a good bit yesterday, while the overall large cap market was kind of flattish. So again, we've talked about this potential for rotation, and that's going to be kind of, and again, this is what we talked about yesterday, is starting to rebalance portfolios, reducing some of those stocks that are really, really kind of overweight in portfolios now because of the big advance. Now, potentially we see a bit of rotation in some of the more defensive sectors, particularly during a corrective move in the market or even a consolidation. May see some of those more defensive sectors begin to kind of pick up and make some traction here, just from a bit of a risk reduction standpoint in portfolios, because managers just like us, we can't be out of the market because of the risk of underperformance. So again, we can move sectors, though, to try to capture some of those gains and try to maintain performance, particularly if we see an overall rotation in the market. So that's kind of really just kind of the things to pay attention to. But, again, outside of domestic markets, again, emerging markets continue just to grossly underperform relative to all the other markets. Just absolutely nothing going on in emerging markets, and really no sign of rotation there at all. International's been doing a little bit better, but again, not nearly as well as domestic. So, at this point, we're seeing rotation, yes, but it's been primarily rotation in domestic stocks more than international emerging markets. Doesn't mean there's not opportunity in the international stocks. There certainly may be, but again, kind of bang for your buck side. Domestic seems to be more the place to be for right now. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning.